Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Jason Mackey's First 10, a short version podcast talking all things Pittsburgh sports. Today is Tuesday, October 8th, and, well, a little bit of a lull in the sports schedule, but have some things I want to get to. Mike Tomlin will talk a little bit later today. The Penguins open their season tomorrow. I have a big column about the Pirates. If you haven't read it, please check that out. I'm going to talk about, well, all of those things, really. But first, want to tell you that this show is brought to you by Edgar Snyder and Associates. If you're injured in an accident, you're probably wondering what's next. For over 40 years, Edgar Snyder and Associates has helped injury victims answer that question. Whether it's gathering evidence, collecting medical records, or dealing with the insurance companies, Edgar Snyder and Associates has helped over 75,000 people handle what's next. Call 1-800-94-EDGAR or visit edgarsnyder.com for a free consultation. And remember, there's never a fee unless they get money for you. All right, I'm going to lead today with the Steelers and Justin Fields and curiosity, frankly, about what Mike Tomlin is going to say. And I understand that he talks at noon, so the shelf life there isn't much, but we can talk going into that sort of what is expected. But what do you do at quarterback? Isn't that one of the biggest issues surrounding this team right now? The offense was not good enough against who the heck did they play the other night? The Dallas Cowboys. I almost said the Indianapolis Colts. That would not be accurate. But at this point, don't you have to go to Russell Wilson? And I know you're probably watching this saying, this is the same guy that 10 days ago said you got to stick with Justin Fields. Things change fast in the NFL, I suppose. But I'm trying to read sort of the tea leaves, Tomlin's mind, what Russ said on the broadcast, what makes sense, what the offense might need. You're looking at the periphery, by the way, the George Pickens issue. I wrote that column yesterday as well. And I do think Russell Wilson can probably help with that. Throws the ball downfield, a little bit more veteran voice. You would hope that he could kind of corral those emotions. It's not suddenly going to make the Steelers wide receiver room deeper or better. I understand that. That's still an area where I'd like to see them at. But Russ was medically cleared 2 weeks ago. The Steelers have been proceeding with a bunch of caution. And if you watch the offense on Sunday night, not sure that's getting it done. 226 yards, longest completion just 21 yards, 3 of 12 on third down, bunch of numbers that you've heard before. The Steelers brought Russell Wilson here to play, right? I mean, they didn't bring him to be the backup, 9-time Pro Bowler, Super Bowl winner. You're going to want to see at some point what he can do. I don't blame the Steelers for wanting to open the box. So to me, that's what we're going to hear out of Mike Tomlin. I mean, I can't imagine he's going to make any, Tuesday declaration, that sort of thing. But if Russell Wilson is a full participant this week at practice, it would make a lot of sense to me anyway to start him on Sunday afternoon against the Las Vegas Raiders. All right, so the Penguins open up their season. I want to get to a couple storylines there. Something I forgot, this published over the weekend, but I had a column on Tristan Jarry. This is something that I've believed since watching Jarry, and I think is going to happen this season. Would not shock me at all if he had his best year as a Penguin. And this might be another case of you watching this or listening to this thinking that I've lost my mind. I promise you I have not. I at least have a shred or two left. I don't have a lot left. But I'm very curious to see what happens with Jarry, and I think he can be the biggest X factor for the Penguins, period. I really do. He was not good in 2023. You can argue it was his worst year as a pro. Certainly statistically, he had career worsts in goals against average, 2.91, save percentage, 0.903. It's not great. Lost his job to Ned, Alex Nedeljkovic down the stretch. Goes 8-1-3. Penguins sort of challenge for the playoffs. All right, so what now? Right? They stick with the same goalie system. Ned's hurt. Jarry's got to look in the mirror, and which he did, and I appreciate Jarry talking to me. We had a good talk, I don't know, last week, something like that, up in Cranberry. Got him one-on-one, sat with him for a little bit and chatted about his summer, talked about going to Italy, sort of, looking in the mirror, training-wise, goaltending-wise, positionally, confidence-wise, some stuff that he knows he needs to do better. I guarantee you Tristan Jarry was not having a good time last season. I guarantee you Tristan Jarry has a lot to prove. I also guarantee you that Tristan Jarry, when healthy, when available, with a halfway decent defense in front of him, can be a darn good goalie. You weren't a 2-time All-Star in the NHL by accident. This guy can be excellent. I'm not saying that the Penguins are going to the Eastern Conference Finals or anything crazy, that Jarry's going to have 50 wins. No. But can he be a difference maker? And can he be an all-star? Can he be really good? Can he have a bounce back season? I think all of these things are true. And I think it starts in front of him, too. And that's something I'm really looking forward to watching now that the regular season games are here, what the defense looks like in front of Tristan Jarry. If you sort of sketch it out, there's a lot being asked of Matt Grizzly to be paired with Chris Letang, top pairing minutes, whatever. He's done it before. He played with Charlie McAvoy in Boston and was very good. Are you counting on Marcus Pettersson and Erik Karlsson to function as your second pair? If Karlsson bounces back, and we have not, again, seen anything from Karlsson in the preseason because he was hurt, if they can figure out a way for that to happen, I have no questions about Marcus Pettersson. I think that can be a very good second pair / top four. You need more out of Ryan Graves. That's a fair question mark at this point. It's probably Ryan Graves, Jack St. Ivany on your third pair. Now, one positive, they get to play some sheltered minutes. The other positive is that, well, Ryan Graves did not play well. So we'll see whether he's able to bounce back. But I think the 6 guys in front of Tristan Jarry, and obviously we're going to talk about some depth there as well, whether it becomes, I don't know, Sebastian Aho or whatever. It becomes important. Harrison Brunick, by the way, sent his WHL team. Sort of saw that coming, but a little bummed for the young man. I thought he had a really good camp, and I don't think we've seen the last of him. All right, have one more Penguins point I want to get to on the other side, but first have our break from the Bradenton area, break and a couple words from the Bradenton Area Convention and Visitors Bureau.
Embrace the laid-back charm of island life while sinking your toes in the sand and discovering real, authentic Florida in the Bradenton area. Unspoiled beauty and pristine beaches, a vibrant waterfront downtown energized by local arts and culture, fresh Floridian cuisine with a flourish of rich history, and friendly locals ready to welcome you to this preserved paradise on Florida's Gulf Coast. Plan your visit today at BradentonGulfIslands.com.
And welcome back to First 10. I'm your host, Jason Mackey. We're here Monday through Friday around the middle of the morning for about 10 minutes, touching all things Pittsburgh sports. So, okay, the other thing I wanted to get to, Rutger McGroarty made the team. You probably know that by now. You don't need me to tell you that. But I think we largely expected it, and I think now the work begins in what his role can be. And it's an interesting one for me because I think they've got some different moving parts. Obviously Brian Rust is going to start the season on injured reserve, and what happens top line, right wing, where they move the chess pieces around. I'm not quite sure. I've liked what I've seen from Ricard Raquel, but I'd probably put him next to Evgeny Malkin. I think Drew O'Connor is going to be in there somewhere. Michael Bunting is going to be in there somewhere. So does one of those spots end up going to Rutger McGroarty? I'm not sure. Maybe not to start. I think maybe you go with a little bit more of a veteran guy and you ease the strain on McGroarty. But I've been impressed with the kid, and his confidence has picked up throughout camp. Obviously, a very good player looking to make an impact. I think we probably saw this coming down the pike whenever the Penguins traded for him. But we'll be very curious to see what happens when the regular season rolls around. And the Marcus Pettersson thing worries me too. By the way, I kind of thought that Marcus Pettersson might get an extension done based on what Kyle Dubas said yesterday. Doesn't look great. His quote, "For us, the key is to protect all of our options as we go through the year. See how our young guys are evolving and developing. Some of you have seen throughout camp, measure that as we go. Marcus is a key guy for us. I think we will treat him a little differently, he and Drew O'Connor." I don't disagree, but once again, could have been a little bit more definitive in that statement. I guess Kyle does not want to box himself in, but yeah, could have been a little bit more committal. All right, last topic is the Pirates. I wrote about something, and I can explain the genesis behind this. People being upset about the Pirates and what they're doing. Since I transitioned onto the beat in 2019, there's obviously been a lot to be upset about. 2019 was a frustrating season. They fired everybody after the year. But I can't say during my time reporting on the Pirates that the fan base has been more agitated by what is going on than right now. And I think there are a couple reasons for that. And that's kind of been what's resonating, rolling around, whatever you want to call it, in my brain over the past week. Maybe that column felt a little out of the blue. It kind of felt out of the blue to me, but it was also stuff that I have been thinking about. And the way I usually operate is if I keep thinking about something and if I feel passionately about something, it's probably worth writing at that point, especially with the Pirates and something that people care a lot about. I included in there how many emails I've gotten since the regular season ended. Many of you watching or listening to this have probably been those people emailing me out of frustration, out of what they're doing, about not understanding, about stuff that's said, how much this quote makes you mad, why you don't understand what they're doing with Andy Haynes, why don't they need to change the hitting philosophy. People that have season tickets and they're ticked off and wanting to cancel them. And people swearing off the Pirates. I mean, believe me, there are such a wide range of people. There are people sending me financial data saying, dig into this, dig into that. Like, I'm not explaining away the Pirates' financial practices, but at the same time, I think this is bigger than that. I really do. I think this is a tolerating something that is not working. And I think people on the outside look at this and say, this is not acceptable. And I think people on the inside are saying, no, we're going to get it. We're going to figure it out. I respect where both things are. But like somebody, one, I'm also paid to have my opinion, but two, it's just tough. I don't know. It's just tough. Read the piece. I put a lot into it, at least thought, rumination, consideration, all that stuff. But it's a tough thing because, I do understand where the organization is coming from. They've actually done a very good job when it comes to, we're going to do things our way. We're going to not care about public perception. We're going to work tirelessly, all that stuff. And they did that. The problem is, after 5 years, the progress isn't there. And it's nothing personal against anybody involved. I've said this, I've written it. I really like Derek Shelton as a person. I really like Ben Cherington as a person. The results aren't where they should be. And I think the problem lies in them thinking that they are, or them being okay with the process. And fans looking at this thing saying, after 5 years of a new regime and years before that, we want winning baseball. Those people aren't wrong. Which is one reason why I was a little surprised the Pirates haven't made more extreme changes to this point. But that's a different column, a different podcast. Check out the column. See what you think. I don't know. Email me and tell me I'm an idiot. That's okay, too. Everybody's allowed to have their opinion, and we can talk about it on here. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. Always appreciate these. Have fun doing our first 10 episodes. Maybe I should change the name to First 12. I don't know. It always seems to go there. Make sure you like and subscribe. You can get all of this content and much more from our other Post-Gazette writers and columnists. Be back tomorrow. Thanks for watching First 10.
Thank you for checking out this content from Post-Gazette Sports. If you watch this video on YouTube, please like the video and subscribe to our channel. For all of the sports coverage the Post-Gazette has to offer, visit post-gazette.com.